You are now listening to the A2J2 podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the A2J2 podcast. As you can see, we have everybody's favorite editor, Jarrod Holloway, joining us tonight.
Hey.
He is in place of Andrew. Andrew is currently at the beach, so I guess he has better things to do. But, we must...
Sorry, we can restart. I'm sorry.
What he say?
Hello and welcome back to the A2J2 podcast, a podcast that is now joined tonight by everybody's favorite editor, Jarrod Holloway, who is stepping in for Andrew Hill, who is currently at the beach. But we must continue on. Things are happening in the sports world, and we need to talk about them.
They sure are.
So we are very happy to have Jarrod here with us tonight.
Yes. Thanks for joining us, Jarrod. Always good to have you.
Amazing to be here once again. As per last time, still don't know anything about sports, so we're just gonna
You haven't learned everything about all the sports within that last 3 weeks to a month?
I think I realistically know less about sports now than I did when we were on than when I was on the last one. So I'm here. I'm ready to go.
He's hit his head a couple of times, but that's okay.
I've got a Bob's Burgers coloring book in front of me, and I'm ready to dive into sports.
Yeah. All right, so we might as well dive right into it. And I make the outline, so we're talking about these guys first. The Philadelphia 76ers went up 3-2 on the Boston Celtics last night. As a Sixers fan, I am very pleased that this has happened. Joel Embiid had a great game last night. Tyrese Maxey, another great game. He's really kind of coming into his own in these playoffs.
You're welcome for getting him out of Kentucky, even though he was very mediocre at Kentucky.
Yeah, we stole him in the draft.
Yeah, you did.
We stole him in the draft. And, as a Sixers fan, I try to be cautiously optimistic. Of course, if you go back to the podcast where we made our predictions, I said that the Celtics were going to win in 7. I think that we have to win Game 6. I do. I think we need to finish it on our home court, and if we don't, I think we're in trouble. But like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic. We're clicking on all cylinders. We probably had our best performance at the playoffs last night. It was good to see everybody playing together. So I was very happy to see that.
To go along with that, with you saying you have to win in Game 6, it was last year, I think, that the Celtics were down 3-2 to Austin's Bucks, right? And in Game 6, Jason Tatum blew up and had probably the best game of his career. And they won that Game 6. They went back home and won. So I think you're absolutely right. They have to win Game 6. But really, the only thing that I want to focus on with the Sixers is James Harden.
Yeah.
This guy has been in fuego. And I love to see it. I've always liked James Harden. I've also liked to see Jason Tatum struggle. I told James through text that I'm a big Jaylen Brown guy. So I think that he's playing really well, but if there's anybody on the Celtics I want to see struggle, it's Jason Tatum. I've just never liked him. And I've always thought he was a little bit overrated because he always disappears in the big moments. We're really going to find out because I'm telling you what, Philadelphia, they're not messing around. I picked Philly to win this series in 6, and I'm sticking with it. Philly's going to win this one in 6 because right now the Celtics are in shambles. They're not the team they were last year defensively, and I think Joel Embiid's on a mission. So it's been an awesome series, but I think it ends tomorrow.
To dive into that, you literally just took a line straight out of my notes. I was like, the only fear I have for the Sixers is Boston was in this exact same situation last year. Okay, they lose Game 5, they're down 2 games, and they come back to. They beat the Bucks in Milwaukee, and then didn't they go back out to Boston? They won. So same scenario, exact same situation. That's the only worry I have. You can't lose this game because if they get that energy and go back to Boston, even though they're 10-10 in the playoffs in the last few years in Boston.
They're not great at home in the playoffs.
It's not a home court advantage. I just don't. I wouldn't give them that. Don't let them have that chance. Embiid took over that Game 5. Insane. That's the MVP showing you need. What an MVP should do. Only other weird point, why is Charles Barkley in every cut calling Tyrese Maxey Tyrone? I don't know. Anybody else notice that? It was very odd.
He doesn't know
Tyrone Maxey, and you're like, his name's Tyrese. Why do you keep calling him Tyrone?
He literally has no idea what he's talking about all the time.
Not at all. And
I personally think the Sixers should have Micah Parsons come ring the bell for Game 6. That's just what I think.
I mean, he is a
it worked
future
when he
bird,
went last.
so
He was a good luck charm for us.
He went to
so.
the best game of the series. I mean, that game was insane, the overtime game. I don't know. It just feels like a different Celtics team than what it was last year, and it may be because of Ime Udoka being gone. I don't know. They just seem different. They don't seem as good, especially defensively. So
it helps
that's
you.
my
It
biggest-
helps too when Tatum starts the game 0 for 5, 0
Yeah.
for 5 from the field. Like you literally just waste 5 possessions. Sixers don't miss. They come down. You get a 10-point lead, and now a team's playing from behind. Just run with it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's all that happened all game long. Even though Philadelphia Twitter was literally just, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. You guys are up 14. There's 3 minutes
Well,
left. Calm
also-
down.
They
You
made
also
it
said
interesting at the end.
Philadelphia. You also said Philadelphia Twitter. So, like, when you think about Sixers fans and everything that they've gone through, I think they have a reason to be a little, like, it's not over. Like, just
It's every sports team there. That's why I said all of Philadelphia. I didn't say Sixer Twitter. I said Philadelphia Twitter.
oh
'Cause
well,
it's
that's fair.
it's
That's fair.
all of them. They all have been through some things. They've seen some stuff.
We're
So
battered. We're a battered group.
yeah.
But hopefully, hopefully we do prevail. Of course, James Harden has had two absolutely. He's had games 2 and 3.
He didn't play well.
He did not play well, but in games 1 and 4, he was huge. Hits the 2 go-ahead buckets to win those 2 games, and then last night was really one of those kind of kick your feet up and enjoy yourself games, which was very nice. Celtics tried to make it interesting there at the very end. Peyton Pritchard decided to not miss, but
He does that randomly.
he does that. You're right. But, I'm hoping we close him out tomorrow. That's if we don't, then
Saturday's going to suck for you, and I'm going to have to be there with you and witness all of it. So
yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. But hopefully by the time this episode is released on Saturday, this series will be over and it'll be a moot point. But we will move on to the next series, and it is the Knicks and the Heat. They are currently playing right now. Let's see. The score is currently 16-10 Heat, and the Heat are looking to close out the Knicks. What can you say other than Nick's gonna Nick? Julius Randle has been nowhere to be found in this series.
He's always this way in the playoffs. He did this last time the Knicks got to the playoffs. He just disappears.
Yeah. So Jimmy Butler is doing Jimmy Butler stuff, and this is kind of exactly what we expected. I was hoping for a good series. Of course, I want the Heat to win. I love Jimmy buckets, but I was hoping for an entertaining series. But it's really been a tale of two very different teams. And if the score holds, of course, it is incredibly early with just over 4 minutes left in the first quarter. But if the score holds, we're looking at the Heat moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals and awaiting to see if the Sixers pull it out tomorrow, and rooting for the fact that they're hoping for them to not, to try to get a little bit more rest.
Mm-hmm.
So happy for Jimmy Butler, but we really, if they win this game tonight, the Sixers, other than the fact that the Celtics have a history of coming back from being down 3-2, you gotta get that win. Don't give them that extended rest.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, the Heat are going to need the extended rest with Jimmy Butler's ankle, which is still acting up from time to time. You see it just maybe 2 or 3 times a game. I think Julius Randle said it best. He said maybe they just want it more. And as a player, how can you say that?
I don't know how you say that.
I don't know how you say that. It's so stupid, but I think he's right, because you look at Miami and the Knicks just don't care. There's one guy on the Knicks that cares. It's Jalen Brunson. He's still been awesome. But Mitchell Robinson, he's done nothing. Julius Randle, like you said, he's done nothing. Like, this series, I hope it ends tonight, because this series has been atrocious. The other 3 have been really fun to watch. I can't watch these games because the Knicks are garbage. If they come back and win, if they win in 7 games, you can come back and quote me in this podcast. But the Knicks are garbage, and something has to change, whether it be ownership or something else, because this team that they have is talented year in and year out, and they keep doing this crap. But, I mean, all credit to the Heat. I mean, honestly, Eric Spoelstra comes playoff time. This guy's an animal. We all should have seen this coming a little bit, but, I mean, who could see an 8 seed get into the Eastern Conference Finals? But I think at the end of the night, we're going to see them in the Eastern Conference Finals. They'll get a little bit of rest for Jimmy Butler. And like you said, the Knicks are they're just going to nick.
Yeah.
I mean, we really undersold it because he literally, in the playoffs, he's Jimmy Butler. Like, he is him. Like, that he's unbeatable in the playoffs. That guy just doesn't miss. And Knicks, it's the same story every year. You go into the summer, everybody's hype. There's all these people talking about how this is the Knicks year, it's next year, and then where do we end up? Always the same story. So it's like, this series it's god awful, just as you said.
I mean, there's a team in the NFL who's pretty similar to the Knicks in that way. They wear a star on their helmet.
I was gonna say they have a star on their helmet.
I know them pretty well, and unfortunately, yeah, it's just trash. It sucks.
I wasn't gonna go there. You all haven't been.
I thought about it too, and I was gonna be nice because I've been just rude all week with Micah Parsons thing. So I was leaving it alone.
I'm gonna go there because you all know. I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan, and Cowboys fans are irrational. But I know that we suck, and I don't see any future or near future for us. So it is what it is. I'm a realist.
Yeah. You all haven't gone through the treacherous stretch that the Knicks have gone through. They're like you all. No, I guess maybe being horrible like the Knicks are is maybe a little easier to digest, other than being just not good enough.
Yeah,
like it's easier to digest being terrible. It's kind of like when we lost in the Super Bowl. I was like, I'd rather get murdered.
Mm-hmm. I would have rather Hurts did not play outstanding, didn't play good, like didn't make us drive down the field, score the touchdown, then go in for the 2-point conversion himself, look like throw the ball into the stands, look like you're like, oh my god, I'm so hyped, and then just crushed, emotionally crushed. Just it's worse.
Side note, while we're talking about that, I saw a tweet this week that said, in the Super Bowl loss to the Bucks, Patrick Mahomes threw 2 interceptions, and nobody wanted to talk about that. Everyone wanted to talk about how his defense couldn't stop anybody, and his receivers weren't doing him any favors. But Jalen Hurts has a fumble in the Super Bowl early on, overcomes that. We still have a 10-point lead at half, and everybody wants to talk about how that fumble is the reason we lost.
I don't know.
I've
heard it before, but I've also heard a lot of people just saying that he deserved his flowers and everything. I mean, a lot of people praising him for his game and then blaming the defense. So, I mean, I've definitely heard things about that fumble, but I don't think it's super out there like that.
Maybe it's just because I'm on Eagles Twitter and they like to point that stuff out.
Yeah, maybe.
But
things are triggering.
Yeah, it's very triggering. But we'll get past that. We're hoping for bigger and better things. But the next series is the Nuggets and the Suns. And like Jordan said multiple times, we really slept on the Nuggets.
And the Joker, I'm telling you guys.
He's good.
I'm telling you.
He's the thing about the Joker. I mean, he is a phenomenal player. And like I said, I'm all for a post guy dominating a game. But tell me if I'm not trying to be rude, but he is the most boring superstar in the league. Sure. It is so boring to watch him play.
He's a slow player. Like but the thing is, like when he gets inside the 10 foot from the basket, he doesn't miss. He just doesn't miss. It's ridiculous.
He's methodical.
But that's also because when he's shooting a jumper, he's over the rim. Yeah. And how can you miss from in 10 feet when you're literally shooting down? It's like beer pong when your elbow's over the table. Like it gets a whole of a lot easier.
Watch those elbows. But I mean, he's dominant. And I heard an argument last night on ESPN radio before the game 5 saying like his style of play and when he dominates the ball is just, it slows the team down and people like Jamal Murray can't get hot. And I think that's really dumb because he's obviously the best player on that team and the team runs through him. He had a triple-double last night. He
53 in game 4 and they lost.
That was the argument they were making, is the fact that he had 53 and they still lost was because he slows the game down and his team can't get into. That's dumb. No. Without him, they would be butthole.
Yeah, but they wouldn't even be in the playoffs.
No way. It'd be Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. is probably the next best player. Like,
I mean, Jamal Murray did have 31.
Jamal Murray's blowing up for sure, but
I give him his flowers. You give him his credit where credit's due, but I mean, definitely not enough to carry a team to the 1 seed in the West.
No shot.
This series, in my opinion, has been the best series of this round.
Are you reading my notes? I need to know today.
I'm sorry, man.
I feel like you guys do this every single podcast. Because Jordan says the exact same thing, and then Austin's like, "Bro, are you reading my notes?"
This happens every single time.
It's always back and forth.
We literally just type in the Google Drive. We're just typing in the same paper. We just think we think it's separate.
But you had this going from okay, first of all, Game 4 was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Game 4, you had the 53 points by Joker. Devin Booker, he didn't miss. I mean, he just didn't miss a shot. KD, he wasn't missing either. DeAndre Ayton was still nowhere to be found because, again, one of the most overrated, overhyped big men in the NBA.
He's been horrible, dude.
He's so
his
bad.
effort is horrible.
It's horrible. And, I mean, so I'm going to go back to what we talked about 2 months ago in the group chat, maybe 3 months ago. I'm building my team around Joel Embiid. But second is the Joker, period. That's that. Like, okay, they're both behind Giannis. Giannis, Embiid, Joker. But I'm building a team around Joker before Luka. Remember, y'all were arguing and yelling at me for saying that. I think it's proven a point right now. Like, this team is the real deal. Do I think they're going to make the NBA Finals? I mean, honestly, I'm giving them like a 50% shot, even with 4 teams left. Like, that's how good they are. It's scary. But the Suns have a lot of firepower, and I think they've actually played better after Chris Paul got hurt.
Yeah.
So I think what you talked about slowing them down, Chris Paul might do that because he doesn't allow Booker and KD to get all the shots that they get. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this go 7, but I don't see the Suns winning 2 in a row. Not Game 7 in Denver. I wouldn't be surprised if it ended in 6, but I think it might go 7.
Are you also saying that Chris Paul spreads it out too much? Is what you're saying?
Sort of, but you're never really worried about him shooting. So when you bring in another guy like Cam Payne or somebody to be the point guard instead of him, you're out there guarding him around the perimeter more than you would Chris Paul, where you can play back a little bit on him. I mean, he can shoot threes occasionally, but he's not going to just pull up on you and shoot, whereas Cam Payne might do that. And that does open up more shots for Booker and KD, in my opinion. Also, Chris Paul just looks a little old. I mean, he just does.
He definitely is old. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm really just waiting for that Kevin Durant moment. It hasn't come this playoffs. He's obviously been efficient. He's a year or two ago, people are asking, is he the greatest player in the world? LeBron looks a heck of a lot better than he does right now. He doesn't.
Do you think he's being too passive?
Yes.
He needs to take over the game a little more. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's been Booker.
Is that more if he doesn't want to make the show about him because he knows
he's always been that kind of player. He's never been one. He's been very efficient. He's not one of those guys that's going to put up 30 shots a game. That's just not who he is. He's just
he needs to be. He needs to be.
The Suns need it. They also need DeAndre Ayton to get his head out of his butt.
That's not going to happen. DeAndre Ayton's weak. He needs to hit the gym. There's nothing that can be done about that. Like, unless he has a time machine and he can go back to the beginning of the year and do steroids, the Joker's going to back him down every time. It's embarrassing to watch him get back down on a nightly basis.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Also, you have the Joker pushing the owner of the Suns. That was hilarious.
That was.
I kind of want to talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna say my notes are like, have you seen a bigger flop this year? I think the biggest one is the Embiid flop. The Embiid flop went right when he came back from injury, where he got bumped and he went. And you're just like, buddy, you're 300 pounds almost. Come on, it was a light hip check from a point guard. Calm your tits.
Where's your all-star? Where's your all-star right now? Sitting at home, just like
he's
you.
with his wife eating Chick-fil-A nuggets and Culver's burgers, and he's probably having a lovely time in his little house.
That sounds phenomenal to me.
I love those things, but
Culver's burgers terrible.
Wrong.
Bad burger. Bad burger.
I see you in a month and a half. I just want to let you know that. I got hands, but
bad burger.
All three of us will see you in a month and a half, and you will have to pay for those comments.
Yeah,
I love you and all, but a butter burger and some cheese curds.
I had one last night.
The cheese curds, the cheese curds for sure. Burger. And anyway, I'm not going to derail
This is 2 podcasts in a row that we've gone on a food tangent. And I'm here for it.
It's because I'm here, I think. It's part of the problem. I'm hungry.
We talked about it last time. We got on Andrew about saying he doesn't eat mayonnaise on anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like mayonnaise either.
No, you don't like Miracle Whip. You like mayonnaise.
No,
Stop.
It's
a real thing.
I don't like any of it.
You just need a garlic aioli on your burger, and you'll be changed
A
for
garlic aioli,
guys.
maybe. Sorry, go
Alright,
ahead.
guys,
Go ahead.
mayonnaise.
Go ahead. Go
That's
ahead. Go
mayonnaise.
ahead.
Garlic-
This,
garlic
this is a
mayonnaise.
this is a sports podcast.
This is a
Get back to
sports
the
podcast.
sports. I'm gonna
This
edit.
podcast doesn't handle slander.
I'm editing all of this out. It's
No, you're
done.
not. You're
It's,
keeping it
you're
in.
not.
it's done.
I want it in
This
here.
is-
It's done.
This
It's
is
all
the
edited
content
out.
we need.
It's all
This is the
edited
content
out.
we need.
Okay, let's get.
but-
I think
Like, the only thing I think about that push, I do think it was a flop. I also think that the owner was in the wrong too, because he is just a fan. You can't grab the ball and hold it from a player. Like,
Yeah.
and they were talking about maybe suspending Joker. That would have been the worst thing that the NBA could have done.
yeah.
No, yeah, 100%.
And
Like,
people are making the argument. They were like, "Well, if Draymond did that, it's like, yeah, but Draymond has a track record of being a huge
Yeah.
tool. So like,
Yeah. Also,
it's not the same thing.
Joker just kind of, I mean, it wasn't even a full arm. Like, it was just a,
No,
I mean,
Joker
it was-
doesn't even know.
I saw the clip on Twitter.
Do you
and
think he knows SC? It looks like some random other dude sitting front row. So,
I saw
yeah,
I saw
like,
the
he-
clip on
if-
Twitter, and he barely touched him. I mean,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, it
definitely
was
a
pretty
huge
weak.
flop for no reason.
and the dude
Like,
flew like 3 seats. So, like,
yeah,
jeez.
Yeah.
it was.
it was pretty funny.
But you
It was
saw
funny.
he did land very nicely and softly back
It's
in a
'cause he knew
chair.
where he was going.
Exactly.
He
So
planned it out.
had he actually been pushed and it was like something more serious, then maybe you can talk about,
Yeah.
game suspension or something like that. But I don't know. I think anyone with eyes can watch that clip and realize it
Yeah,
was just a
sure.
massive flop for no reason.
It is a flop
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
That'll bring us to our next series, and I really wish Andrew was here to talk about it. Lakers Warriors. Lakers are up 3-1, hoping to God and all that is holy that series is over tomorrow.
Close it
Like-
out.
Close it out tonight. I want to be able to walk into my first period tomorrow to my Warriors fan student and be like, "What happened?"
Warriors, what happened?
I really want that to happen.
I hope it does
I'm
too.
not. I will never count out Steph, but another one of my students today was like, "Well, Clay's been pretty good these playoffs." I was like, "He had 9 points the other night."
Clay's
What are
been
you? Have you
booty
been
cheeks.
watching the same?
Did you see the
What?
last 2 shots he took in Game 5?
Yes.
Like, early in the shot clock, one of them they had a lead, and he was double teamed. The other one, they were down by 1. He just runs up the court and fires up a random 3. It's like,
Mhm.
what do you, and then, I mean, even like Draymond and Steve Kerr just looking at him like, what?
And Steve Kerr said that he has to live with Clay taking bad shots. It's like you don't though, because you have Steph
No.
Curry on your team,
Mhm.
and like at this point, like I trust Andrew Wiggins more than I trust Clay.
Yeah.
Like, so Curry's trying to do it on his own. His teammates aren't helping him, but LeBron's doing LeBron stuff, and Lonnie
Steph's doing
Walker,
a damn
man.
Good job. I mean, Steph's doing a
Also-
damn good job. Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker went off in the fourth quarter the other night, so good for him.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've heard his story. I don't want to really go into that because trigger warning. But it's really cool to see him find success, and I hope he continues to. I think playing on a team with LeBron and having that role player status, and he's athletic, he's a good young player, and I hope to see him thrive tonight. I hope he puts like 30 on their head. But
Yeah.
And if Anthony Davis and LeBron are healthy at the same time, can anybody stop the Lakers when they're putting up
It's
60
very
points
difficult.
together combined?
That was
like
you stole my notes this time.
I jumped in front of you. I knew you had it. I knew you
It
had the
was-
same
it's totally
thing. I
similar.
jumped in front of you.
The first thing I want to say is, James, you talked about this on the last podcast, but like you love the fact that the big man basketball is coming back.
yeah,
Who are the 3 best big men in the NBA? Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
All 3 of them are about to be, hopefully, they're very close to being in the
jinx
conference
us,
finals.
please, God.
I mean, so I love to see that. I just love to see the big man. It's just coming back because it went to small ball with Steph and everybody. I mean, it's
Mhm.
Steph and Dame and whatever. Is the road opening up for LeBron's 5th ring? Because it feels
It might
like
be.
all
does.
the dominoes are falling. I mean, if there's somebody who's going to stop the Joker, you give me a combination of AD and LeBron doubling him up. I love it. I love it. I think they could
Yeah.
stop him. Same with Joel Embiid. Like right now, if the Lakers close the series out tonight, I'm putting them as favorites to win it all. I
It's
mean,
hard to
I
bet
re-
against him.
I really am. So yeah, and they're playing their best basketball. The pieces they have around him, like you said, like D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves. I mean, everybody. It's just
Jordan, how do you feel about Austin Reeves?
Austin Reeves is he's really close to passing Michael Jordan on my list as the second best player of all time. It's very, very close. I mean, he's the GOAT. Like, have you watched him play? Like, God, dude's white Jesus.
Oh
We
my
need to make like
God.
an active tier list that pops up on the screen for these things that just like the best shooter. just we just
Yeah.
keep moving players up and down.
Yeah, I love it.
Get our editor on it. If only we had a way to
Yeah.
talk to him right now.
Yeah.
Don't give me more work to do, please.
Yeah, right.
I'm overworked as it is, guys.
James
please.
did double your pay today, though. So
Yeah. Everybody, this is
did.
a quick math lesson for everybody. What's double of 0? All right, now you know my pay.
In all fairness, you're getting paid the same as us.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's
Is there another overpaid player more than Jordan Poole? Like,
he's been awful.
Is there another
He's
player
so
with
good.
more? Is there another player with more memes on Twitter than Jordan Poole?
No,
No.
maybe Ben
Absolutely
Simmons.
he
Speaking-
doesn't count.
Speaking of Twitter, have you guys seen the dog that has like gotten every single game right between the Warriors and the Lakers?
They have
Yeah.
the Warriors winning the last
They have the
three.
Warriors winning in 7.
Yeah,
He
which is-
also predicted that the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl too in the fourth quarter, and it really pissed me off.
That's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
that dog is kind of annoying me lately.
He
It's
also
a corgi though,
he,
so we'll let it slide.
he also picked the Cavs to beat the Knicks in 5 games. So
He's a dog. Give him credit. He's all right sometimes.
when he does something wrong, it's fine. But when he does something right, it's amazing.
Well, I mean,
Hey,
come
listen,
on.
that doesn't fit the narrative. That doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah,
A,
exactly.
a weatherman is not right 100% of the time, and that's a human.
Weatherman's
You-
barely ever right.
Exactly, so you
Yeah.
can't get mad at a dog, and I mean he's been pretty accurate. So I mean, I got to
Yeah.
side with him there.
I pray to
Yeah.
God that he's wrong.
Yeah, same.
And
Same. Because I don't want Andrew to have to take a victory lap on the next pod and be like, never a doubt. Oh, yeah, Steph
Yeah.
Curry. I love him. So I
Steph
don't want
Curry
that
put
to
up
happen.
38 with a triple double and still wasn't enough to bail out that team. Let's just point
Yep.
that out.
I mean, he's doing everything he can. All
Yeah.
respect
Yeah.
to Steph.
Oh.
It's just
Team's on his back. I mean, second best
Yeah.
shooter all time.
Third.
Crazy.
third. Caitlin Clark.
Third.
Caitlin
Sorry, I forgot we dropped him to 3.
Yeah.
Third.
Yeah, but that'll do it for our NBA section. We will revisit this in a week. Hopefully, the Sixers will be moving on, and I can be very happy. And hopefully, I'll be the only person on this podcast whose team is moving on. But crazier things have happened. I could be very upset. But I think this will be a good time to take our first break. And when we come back, we will recap the NHL playoffs as it stands right now, and see where we're at. So we will see you on the other side of the break. All right, welcome back. We're going to talk a little NHL playoffs now. Let's start it off with Jordan's Maple Leafs looking really strong.
Let's not start it off here.
Looking really strong. Down 3-0 to the Panthers.
They're
So-
winning right now.
That's
They're winning
great.
right now. It's 1-0.
I predicted Bruins in 5, so I'm going to take Panthers in 5 as a small victory for myself. But kind of like the Knicks, the Leafs are going to leave, and it's exactly what they've been doing. So I do not see any scenario where they come back from 3-0, but I've been wrong about hockey on this podcast a lot. So that might be a very good sign for the Leafs. But and like I said, I would like to see them make a run.
Mhm.
I don't like either of the Kachuk brothers, so I don't want to see one of them making a run, but here we are.
Give me Leafs in 7. All right, the comeback begins now. I'm sorry, I got to ride high with them. I had them in the Stanley Cup final, so I got to push them. I mean, got to have a little bit of belief. But in all reality, what a story the Panthers have been. I mean, this is a franchise that didn't really have fans going to their games like 2 years back.
Yeah.
And, here they are making a Miami Heat-like run. So it is cool to see, but it's unfortunate they have to lose 4 in a row to the Leafs. So that it is what it is.
Do you want to put money on that?
No, not really.
Brewery? You want to put a 4-pack of beer? I can finally take the lead.
No, unless it's Walgreens brand beer. That might be $2.50.
Maybe some beer 30.
It's gotta
Yeah,
be.
beer.
Oh,
It's gotta be the Ice House special.
Oh, there you go. I'll get you the good stuff.
All I had to put on it, at least one Florida team decided to show up and play some actual hockey. That's kind of the only way I looked at it. They're playing physical hockey, and that's really what's ruining the Leafs. And screw Austin Matthews and his pube stash. So
Man, the Lightning suck,
Wow.
honestly.
Wow.
All the Lightning do is hold the puck right in front of their own goalie for 10 minutes, and then they go, oh, "Well, we didn't win." I hate the
Come
Lightning.
on.
I hate
Come
the
on,
Lightning.
get out
They
of
played
here.
the
Hey.
worst hockey ever. Like, I hate the style. I just hate the way they play. It's awful.
Hey, can we go ahead? Let's go on a side tangent here. I agree. Piss on the Lightning.
Yeah, me too.
But
Sorry.
I just want to point out here that the Preds are still undefeated in the playoffs. But what I want to get into, just real quick side tangent. Bedard, the Blackhawk, is the most rigged thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks winning the lottery, could they be? I mean, their organization has made some horrific decisions, and they're going to be rewarded with an absolutely generational talent in Connor
But they're
Bedard.
going to end up like trading him off for some crap because they're the Blackhawks. Either that or he's going to end up being Patrick Kane, your favorite person.
Also,
No, please, do not put that on him. Do not.
No,
I mean,
don't say that.
I
That's
think
like
it's
it's
John
too good.
Anderson.
Too good to put that on
Yeah.
him. What he did.
There's a lot of things that you can put on people, but don't put Patrick Kane on people.
I mean,
On
I just
anybody,
mean
on
the
your worst
Stanley
enemy.
Cup, not the off the ice stuff. I don't want
Okay.
anybody to be like Patrick Kane on that
Okay,
aspect.
okay.
Yeah, he's a bad person.
Needed clarification on that one, Jordan.
Yeah. No, I don't want anybody to be like that.
Also, the ESPN coverage of the lottery was super weird because
Very
it was
suspect.
like the 3 picks left, and then they cut back, and it hasn't been told yet. And they're like, Columbus gets the 3rd pick, and you're just like, we don't know that yet. What are you talking about? And then the lottery happens, and Columbus gets the 3rd pick, and you're like, wait, what? What?
Hmm.
Why did you know that 2
Yeah,
minutes
that's
prior? Like
suspect
that's
as hell.
unless
I
the
don't like
list is
that.
made previous and it's given to ESPN and they just messed up the timing. I don't know.
I wanted him to go to the Ducks because I would have loved to seen him and Zegras play together. That would have been a lot of fun.
Mhm.
But of course, he's got to go to friggin' Chicago. What have they gone a month and a half without a generational player? Cool,
Pretty much.
awesome. Now we have to play him in our division every year. Gotta love that.
One of the
But
biggest
anyway,
markets.
original 6 bias. But that'll bring us to the Devils and the Canes. This has been another game where none of the games have been like super close.
Yeah.
It's been a bunch of butt kickings, but the Canes currently sit 2-1. And
3-1.
I had the Canes.
3-1.
Is it 3-1?
3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Canes kicked the crap out of him. I think 6-1
Yeah, it was
last time.
6-1.
I
Canes
knew
are.
they beat them 6-1. I didn't realize that was game.
Dude,
It was in New Jersey too.
yeah, the Canes
Okay.
are looking crazy, man. They really are.
Canes look good. I had them winning the series against the Rangers, but yeah, I mean the Canes look good. They're clicking on all cylinders, and I hate it for Jack Hughes. I like Jack Hughes. You know, he's an American guy. It's cool to see a guy succeed in the NHL, and he had a lot of hype around him coming into the league, and I'm glad that he's been living up to that. And I think that he has a very, very prosperous future.
Mhm.
But it's looking like they don't have the firepower to keep up with the Canes.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they show up like they did in Game 3,
Yeah, which they won. That was what 8-4 or something. Like this,
6-1. Like
No,
they
no,
blew them out of the water.
Oh, the Canes. I thought you were talking about the Devils. The Devils.
No,
won
I'm talking about the Devils. The
They
Devils
won
won 6-1.
8 to
It was
4.
8-4.
8. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Kraken. I'm thinking of the Kraken game. Never mind. Talking later.
Yeah, I mean, this series, I picked the Devils to go on. I still think they might just because of I mean, there's so much difference in every single game. There's no close game in this series, so it's just whoever's hot. But I just think the Canes are just too good right now, and they scare the hell out of me. I don't really like them, and I don't really know why. Just never really have.
You almost fought a Canes fan at
I
a
did.
Preds game.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But then I would have stepped back and let you fight him. But anyways,
We'll insert that video clip right here.
We don't have that. I wish.
no, we don't have that one.
That was my wife's first trip to Bridgestone Arena, and she was yelling at me and Jordan for getting rowdy with the refs.
What a
Early
lovely
in that
time
game.
for her.
And then in the 3rd period of that game, she screamed. What'd she scream, Jordan? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Take your skate off and stab him. So she got into the
What a
hockey
lady.
atmosphere.
What a
pretty
woman.
quick.
Got it.
That's a
That's
W
W.
wife right there.
That's
Gotta
W.
love
That's
hockey.
W.
Gotta
I've
love
never been so proud to be married to her in that moment. I was like, yes, stab him.
Yeah. Show me blood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think the Canes are too good. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate it because I was kind of rooting for the Devils in this series, but yeah, they're just too good.
Yeah. So the Oilers and the Golden Knights are next. What's the series there? I want to make sure I didn't screw it up.
2-1 Vegas.
2-1. That's what I thought. Vegas is up 2-1. We all had Vegas going to the Stanley Cup final. I mean, I don't want to count out McDavid and Draisaitl. Anything is possible.
What Draisaitl's doing is insane this playoffs.
Yeah.
Like the goals that he's scoring and the rate that he's on, if they make a long run, he could set records.
Yeah,
Like,
he could. But
My
the Golden
only note for the whole series is Draisaitl is really good at hockey. That is all.
Big fact.
He's really good. I don't think imagine if that guy was on a different team. Like if he was on any other team, a team that didn't have Connor McDavid on it, people would be talking about him being the best player in the league.
Oh yeah.
It's just the fact that he plays with McJesus but I still don't think I still like the Golden Knights, man. They're so complete, and I'm not a fan of them at all. There's a little suspect how they just got to the Stanley Cup Finals their first year, but they're so good. It's hard to bet against them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I had the Golden Knights going to Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, if any team's going to take the Golden Knights to 7, it's going to be the Oilers. If anybody's going to knock them out, I think it's going to be the Oilers because they're star power. But I think that Game 3 went into Edmonton, right? I think that they split the series in Vegas, 1-1, and then went to Edmonton. And the Golden Knights won in Edmonton. Wouldn't be surprised if they did it again tonight. And if they go up 3-1, the series is over. Yeah. So this is a must-win tonight for the Oilers. So we'll see how they respond to losing the last game. But both of these teams are really good and really fun to watch. As much as I hate Vegas, like they're so much fun to watch.
Yep.
So this has been a really fun series thus far, and I hope it goes 7. I really do.
Yeah, me too. So then we have the Kraken, Andrew's Kraken, versus the Stars, and I believe Seattle is up 2-1 in that series. Yes.
Is it 2-1 still, or is it 2-2?
Oh, it's 2-2. It's 2-2.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right.
2-2.
Yeah, 2-2.
Did they play last night? I didn't pay any attention to hockey. I was watching
last night. Yeah.
Okay. This is tough. I hate the Stars. They are a Central Division rival of the Nashville Predators. And the Kraken have Eli Tolvanen, who was treated very poorly by the Predators, and I want him to have all the joy that he can possibly have. So I'm rooting very heavily for the Kraken in this series. But experience tells me that the Stars are probably going to pull this one out. And then, honest to God, then I'll have to root for the Golden Knights because I refuse to root for the Dallas Stars. I refuse, no offense, I refuse to root for any team from Dallas. I just can't do it. So,
no offense taken.
Yeah, but I hope the Kraken pull it out, but I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either. And it's just, like you said, it's just kind of what I've seen just in the history. And it just doesn't – I've watched like 2 of these games, and I just feel like the Stars are kind of dominating on the ice. Like they look like the better team. Most of the possession is theirs. They're getting to the net. I just feel like they're more physical. And, I mean, but who knows? Maybe it's another, Golden Knights type thing, and the Kraken just keep pulling wins out. But I don't see it.
Which 2 games did you watch of the series? Because the other 2, my notes is they're just literally beating the piss out of each other. Like it's one game, it's the Kraken have all of the advantage, and it's everything's in the zone. They're attacking the entire game, and then the next game, it's immediately Dallas has got the puck, and it's the Kraken can't establish anything, and it's just back and forth. So I think the 2 games you watched are the 2 losses, because that would be.
I think it might be right, because I did watch some of it last night, and I guess
the other game was 6-1.
I think the day, maybe it was Sunday, so that would have been game 2. So yeah, I think you're exactly right.
So it's kind of a series like the Devils and the Canes then.
Yeah,
it's just whoever wants to get hot first.
Who's going to get hot? Yeah. So
and I just trust the experience of the Stars. That's just me.
Yeah. All right.
And also, as a Lightning fan, in my notes, Yanni Gord. Love Yanni Gord. I would love to see him be successful, and he's like a star on a lineup. Like, he deserves that. He was always stuck on the Lightning second line, like stuck behind guys.
He was so freaking good with the Lightning.
So talented. I love to see him be successful.
How do you let a guy like that go? But how do you let a guy like Eli Tolvanen go?
Kind of real.
Yeah, seriously.
But the cap is kind of real. It's not 100% real, but it's kind of real.
It's fairly real for the Lightning, but
it's only real in this sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll put an end to the NHL talk, and we'll move on to the MLB, which I don't want to talk about. The first note is, how is your team doing? And all I have on my notes is giant bowl of poop. My team is underachieving. The Mets will Met, and that's
The
what they're
Mets
doing.
will. You are
Yeah,
correct. The Mets will
They
Met.
went through a very hot stretch there for a while, and now they are absolutely ice cold. And we lost to the Reds last night, and it was tied 1-1 last time I saw with them tonight, which is awesome. I love it. It's exactly what I expect. But my team is giant bowl of poop. But I'll let you guys be optimistic about your teams.
I mean, I feel pretty good, mainly because the Dodgers are still the big brothers of the Padres, not the Brewers, but we are still the big brother of the Brewers too. Just finishing off that 2-1 series win over the Brewers, but it is what it is. Honestly, they're doing exactly what I expected. They're not really, I mean, I think they're like 8 games over 500 or something, which is about what I expected this deep into the season. They're winning the division by 2.5 games over Arizona. So yeah, we're still way ahead of the losers, the Padres, and that's all that matters to me. I don't care if we finish 4th in the division, as long as the Padres finish 5th. Kershaw looks like prime Kershaw this year.
Yeah,
You
he's
saw that
killing it.
today. You saw that today, Austin. Like, he looks incredible. He's had like one bad outing. I think he's sitting at 6-2 this season or something, or 5-2. I don't remember exactly what it was. And then we probably have the rookie of the year in James
Outman,
Outman.
dude,
James
Outman's
Outman has
so
been
good.
outstanding. He had a walk-off home run. Speaking of walk-off home runs, Max Muncy leading the MLB in home runs, hit a walk-off grand slam against the Phillies, I think it was, over the weekend. He's been killing it. He had a really bad season last season, so I'm glad to see him doing better. So with the way the Dodgers started the season, I'm kind of proud of where we're at now because we started off pretty poorly. So, I mean, I'd give him like a B because it's just exactly what I expected.
And also, Max Muncy missed games to start the season, and he's still leading the league in home runs.
He was on
Yeah,
paternity.
that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Half your team was on maternity leave because they were just
Yeah,
all-star
Mookie
games.
Mookie was on paternity list. So yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun weekend for those boys.
Yeah.
All-star weekend. My team is my answer here is yes. That's how my team is doing at the moment. They were electric at the beginning of the season. They were hot. They couldn't lose. They were putting up 14 runs a game. It was nuts. I was having a blast. And then Garrett Mitchell, my little rookie that I've just loved and preached about, he got a shoulder injury. And then Terang got a little a calf injury, and then it was Woodruff had to go on the IR, and then it was Burns had to go on the IR, and then it's now just we've lost 7 of the last 10. It hasn't been fun for this last like 2-week span, but I mean before that I was having a blast. It's just this last 2 weeks sucks. So I mean I would give them an A-. It's a lot of fun. Our team is so young. Like this team in 2 years.
Well, y'all are still sitting second in the division too, behind a team that I think a lot of us might talk about here in just a minute. But I mean, you're still in second, so that's pretty. I mean,
they've also lost 7 of their last 10, so we've just been as long as they didn't pull away, they're just losing together, and you're just like, all right, that's not terrible. Like I don't hate that, but Curio, we have who else is coming up? Like there's 3 rookies that are like 3 guys that are in our prospects right now that are coming up. Oh, electric. Like Curio is on like 9 home runs so far with Timber Rattlers, which are Appleton, our AAA team. Love that. Kid's outstanding. Then you have Keston Hero might get called back up, which he's a clown and a half. Somehow you put this kid down in AAA, he blasts 14 home runs, and you're just like, oh, he's the best hitter of all time. This is amazing. Bring him up. And he'll bat 100. And he won't hit the ball. And then you like put him back in AAA, and he's electric again. You're just like, I don't understand. You can hit the ball.
He's gonna be a AAA legend for a while. We'll see.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing for the I think it's the Mudcats. Where are they? Nashville?
No, that's that's
it's somewhere down
Memphis.
Nashville. Maybe it's the Memphis Mudcats or in Tennessee somewhere. It's somewhere down there. I don't know. That's one of our AAA team. I don't know. But
it's weird the connection that Tennessee and Milwaukee have with the Admirals playing up there too.
Yeah, we have a lot of teams going back and forth. That it's kind of wild. Giannis
the Admirals also the Admirals AHL team is quite unfair because like half of their players were on the Preds roster at the end of the year and playing very well, and now they're playing in the AHL playoffs. But yeah, we'll move on. Most impressive teams. The obvious picks here are the Rays and the Braves, who are the leaders in both divisions. The Rays, who currently sit at 29-8. All of us had them missing the playoffs. We look very wrong on that.
Very wrong.
I think we all picked the Braves to win that division, so that's not super surprising. But of course, the sleeper is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Kind of like Austin just said, I don't think that this is a sustainable thing. I don't think that this is something that will continue to happen. But they are currently up in the division at 21-16. So props to them for that.
I mean, they're the Pirates.
Yeah.
Like,
They're gonna pirate. They're going to pirate. Like it's fine. Like I'm not worried about it.
No, I mean, but like this is really good for them. Like they're still the Pirates. They're 21-17. Like they might as well throw a parade with the way that they're past like 10 years.
Hang the banner.
Like we're nearly 40 games in and we have a winning record. What the hell's going on? Yeah, I think the Pirates and the Rays are really the easy answers. I'm going to go off a little bit there and say I'm pretty impressed with the Rangers because I feel like they've kind of underachieved. They've made some moves. Of course, they got Corey Seager. They got I can't think of the pitcher's name they got, but anyway.
They got Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I know you would know that name. But yeah, I'm impressed by them because they're up in that division 3 games right now. And I didn't really see that coming in that division, with the Astros, with the Mariners, talk about disappointing teams. But yeah, I think that those would be the 3 that I would kind of lean towards.
I'm kind of the same boat. I mean, I just stuck with the good answer of the Rays. I thought they were going to choke this year away, and here we are. They're electric. They can't lose. They win in any kind of game. It can be a pitcher's duel. They'll play a pitcher's duel and they'll win it. We're going to just homer off each other and score 10 runs? Yeah, we'll score 11. It doesn't matter. They figure out a way to win, and that's early season baseball. We'll see if it turns at the All-Star break, because that's really when you find out what a team is and like who actually is good is right after that, which we'll see. I don't expect the Pirates to hang around, so I didn't put them on here. So that might just be NL Central bias, but
yeah. I'm hoping that the whole All-Star break thing comes to fruition, because the past 2 seasons the Mets have been amazing at the beginning of the year and have pooped the bed at the end of the year. So I'm hoping that we do the opposite. Yeah.
So no one put on their most impressed list the Athletics?
No, actually, the least impressive teams I have written on my notes, the A's are a disgrace to baseball.
I thought it was impressive that they'd won 8 games. Like
they're horrible.
How did they win 8?
No,
the worst part of that franchise is the marketing. Marketing team is just just terrible.
They just need to go on to Vegas. Just go on.
Yes, their field is horrible. It looks like a dump. The Royals aren't much better. They're the only team the A's have taken a series from. They're abysmal. Both of those teams are cheeks. And the A's need to move to Vegas as soon as humanly possible and get somebody to pour money into that team, because if you're a fan of baseball, like the A's are a very historic organization. They made a movie about them. I mean, Moneyball is a fantastic movie.
Great movie. Great watch.
It's amazing. If any of our viewers have not watched Moneyball, I don't know what you're doing. Finish this podcast first, then go watch Moneyball. But it's just embarrassing. Like I'm pretty sure that the Kingsport Axemen, who is like a college developmental team, they won the championship in the Appalachian League last year. Fairly certain they could compete with the Athletics, because they are a huge. You talk about the Mets being a giant bowl of poop. The A's are.
They don't even have the bowl. They just have no bowl.
It's just a giant pile of elephant poop. So
they can't afford the poop, and that's why they're running that deal. I don't know if you saw it. You get 40 tickets to 40 games this summer, a hot dog, and a soda for each game per ticket. This is like per bundle for each game. So a hot dog, a soda, a ticket. 40 games, $99.
Yeah.
You feed your family. You just go in there, get your hot dog and soda, and go home.
I would do that for like dinner. Just be like, all right, dinner time. We're not even watching the game. Just
it's not like you have to worry. You don't have to worry about traffic, because nobody's going to be there.
No. It's amazing. Steal for food. You're in California. You know how much food costs out there?
Yeah.
Get your dollar. Like, you're basically paying $1.50 for a hot dog and a soda.
Yeah.
Done.
Get it done.
That's
It's,
crazy.
maybe they're trying to help the homeless population out there. I mean, if that's the case, then at least they're giving back.
They are giving
But,
back. It's one thing you can say
but
about them.
don't cover your faces. Don't I'm right.
That was just a
Yeah.
crazy comment.
They need to do. I'm just trying to find a silver lining of them doing something good for humanity, because them playing baseball is an affront to
No, it's
America's
horrible.
pastime.
It's horrible.
I guarantee it's because those hot dogs have an expiration date and they need to just
They
get
need
rid
to
of them.
get them out. Yeah.
They know for a fact if they keep it regular season just with sales, they're like, we're not making this right here. Like, we're gonna have to throw out so many hot dogs. Like,
Yeah.
put out a deal.
Jared,
Put out a deal.
I don't know if you've seen pictures of their stands. There's like, you can count. Like, you physically can keep track, counting the stands, how many people are in them. Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
like,
embarrassing.
you're looking at it and it's like 34 people in the stand. It's a huge ballpark too, like 3 tiers.
Are
And
they
it's like 30 people.
Are they the cheapest MLB ticket that you can buy right now?
Without a
Yeah.
doubt.
You could probably have
Well,
like
well-
third baseline seats, like or
Oh,
right
yeah, you
behind
can have
home
right
plate.
behind the plate. Yeah, you can have right behind the home plate for like $11.
I'm
And
checking
a hot
StubHub
dog
right now.
and a
Yeah,
hot dog.
check it. I
And a
want
hot
to know what
dog.
it is. I
I'm
want to know
checking
what it is.
StubHub.
I
Because
would
I bet it's pretty cheap.
I would have to
Alright.
say like a team
it's
like
not-
the Braves or something versus that, like you probably can't get like nosebleeds at the Braves
No.
for what you can get behind the base at the A's.
We went to a Braves game and we got right down the third baseline for like, and it was still like $250 a ticket. It wasn't
Ooh.
great seats, but it was like if you want to get behind the plate, you're talking like $2,000 a ticket.
Yeah, easy.
We're going to the Braves game. We're sitting in right field up
Yeah, we're
against
sitting
the
in-
wall
yeah.
for like $23. So
It's pretty cheap.
Do you
We
have
were-
the
when
price
I
of
went,
the
they
A's
were
ticket
playing the
yet?
Dodgers. So.
Yeah, I guess
I
it
wanna
does
know the
depend on who they play and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well, they
as
were playing the Dodgers on Freddie Freeman's like first game back to Atlanta. Is the game I went to. So that
oh
was-
yeah, of course that ticket was going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, it literally won't even pop them up.
Dude, they're just trying to get you to take that $100 deal. They're like, please buy the tickets, get them all.
They're they're like
All right.
standing out in the parking lot paying people to go in.
If I had the money, I would buy every single bundle that they have that's $100 and just have nobody but me show up to the games and just like try to eat 100 hot dogs before the game's over.
I can get us lower seat, section 110, right behind the first base dugout, for $18 for both tickets.
Oh.
That's like a
incredible.
AAA prices.
No
That's
way, dude.
No,
to-
that's lower. That's
Yeah,
lower
to-
than a AAA price.
To go see like the JC Cardinals or the Kingsport Mets, you're paying at
That's
least
not
20.
a thing anymore.
Is
That's
it not?
Yeah.
No.
Even back then, you had to pay. I think it was like $25 to get in. 25, 30, I think was the price to get a ticket. And I mean, you could
Yeah.
just sit wherever, but
Yeah.
Roll one behind home plate, the diamond level, 140.
Oh my
that's
god.
cheap, man. That is
That's
cheap,
tough.
cheap.
So I'm glad we're all in agreement that the A's are an affront to baseball.
Yeah, absolute trash. I kind of went a different route than you did. I went most disappointing. So, just a little different from that. I'm just going to go from expectation to reality.
The Mets.
I have an honorable mention is the White Sox.
Okay.
Like, I feel like they just have so much talent. They are 13-24. They're already 7 games out of first in their division. Why do they always do this? Like, they have
Yeah.
a good team. Why are they always doing like I don't know, maybe it's just Chicago.
You hate it for
it
Tim
was-
Anderson.
Number 3 is a team that I thought would have the best record in baseball this year was the Yankees. And they are 21-17 and they are sitting in last place in their division. Dead last.
Same amount of wins as the Pirates.
Yeah. I mean, dead
Yeah.
last. I mean, that division's good, don't get me wrong, but they're dead last. I mean, come on. Like,
The Cardinals have
Well,
also
I
been
mean-
atrocious.
huh?
The Cardinals.
Well, you just let me get
We
there.
love that. We
Okay.
stand that.
My number 2 is the Mets because the way the Mets started and the way they are now, they're 2-8 in their last 10 games, dropped to a losing record. I think they're sitting in 4th in the division now. They are. So only ahead of Washington, another great poverty franchise now.
Yeah.
But yeah, my number 1, it's the Cardinals. It's the Cardinals, man. They're last in their division. They're 13-24. Like, they are so bad. Why?
Yeah.
Why are they so bad? You look at the roster, and it's very, very, very good. And
I hate Nolan Arenado. I love it.
yeah, I don't think it'll last. I think they'll find a groove, but it is fun to have it the way it is for now.
Yeah.
So that's
Except
to me
for the
the
Mets
most
thing. That
disappointing
sucks.
team.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 2 honorable mentions written down as well, and they're both playing the same division. It's the Phillies and the Mets,
Yeah.
and it's both struggle. I mean, the Phillies, they just haven't had their stars. They've been injured. They're coming back. I get that. Bryce Harper hasn't been there. Okay, cool. It's fine. I get it. You have an excuse. The Mets, you're spending the most money in the world. Like you're spending
Man.
what?
The Padres.
No,
Mets have
the
the
Mets
highest
actually are
payroll.
spending the most.
Really?
Yeah.
The most salary cap. They're spending 3 times the amount the Brewers are spending. Just
They've got
just
it.
throw
Padres
that
have
out there.
got it too, but
So you have all that money and you're still not winning? Crazy. But then my actual team that I wrote down is the Cardinals. And that's just because I love to watch them struggle. Ugh, I love
Yeah.
this. This is just to my heart, makes me just full of joy. And it's the greatest thing that could happen. I'm just so happy. You guys both picked them as your NL Central winner, and you're like, it's easily the Cardinals. They're gonna win the
You
division. And I'm just
realize
like,
this season's
yeah, I hate them.
162
I
games
hate
Yeah,
long, right?
it's a long
They
season.
have over
Austin.
120 games left.
It's fine. I hate the Cardinals.
I'm gonna let
I
you
don't like 'em
celebrate
either.
from now, but
Yeah.
Let me walk on them. Let me dance on their
I'll
grave.
allow it. I'll allow it.
It's fine. I don't like
Screw
him either.
Arenado. I hate him
We'll
too.
see. I can't stand him. But yeah, so we'll see. It's a long season. Hopefully the Mets can dig their way out of the gutter and just make the playoffs. They don't have to win the division. But it's not looking good right now. So
Mhm.
but that'll do it for this episode. Jared, you want to say anything to your adoring fans who love to see your face on this podcast?
If you like to see my face on this podcast, why? If you enjoy the podcast, leave a comment, give us a like, comment that you think the editor does a good job when James and Andrew, mainly Andrew, mess up and have stupid mistakes that I have to fix.
Hey, it's just my internet. Don't act like
Put down in the comments all the mistakes that Andrew makes that I fix. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
Brutal. I love it.
Damn.
If you
Off the
think
top
about
rope.
it might be easier if I just recorded. But who's got the time? Who's got the time? Who's got the time? Let me
Well,
pull
then,
up Google on the middle of my screen.
Well, there you have it.
Andrew, whenever you watch this episode, we hope you're having a good time at the beach right now. But yeah, that'll do it. Thank you all, as always, for watching. Please like and subscribe. Like Jared said, comment on the video, help the algorithm out, get us popping up. Our engagements are doing fairly well, but we could always use some more views. We welcome more views. Again, I'll say again, if you're one of my students that's found your way onto this podcast, thank you for the support. Appreciate you.
Stop
Everybody-
watching it in class, though. Guys, you
Don't-
can see your screen. Do you know that? Do you know we can see your screens?
They know.
Stop playing. We get Snapchats every time you guys pull them up. We see this. Come on, guys. Be better at it. Watch it on your phone or something. Come on.
Some of them do that. And now their Chromebooks are taken up, so it's not going to be that big of an issue now. But until next time, we appreciate y'all, and we'll be back, and hopefully we're rolling. So
Hold on, no, the Dodgers still own the Brewers. Just want to throw that out there.
Oh my gosh.